live. I'm waiting for Twitch to tell me I'm live, but I know I'm live. Yeah, there we go. That's definitely live. Move these bits and bobs around. And we can do a little bit of just progressing and probably not triggering plot. Hopefully not triggering plot. I can go just fight some things for just a minute while people arrive, because this is not my usual streaming time, and therefore it's probably going to be a minute before we've got people. And then I can trigger all of the narrative that happened off stream while I was getting some playtime in on this, trying to get caught up so we can finish. Hey Tara, this is a weird time. This is 10 AM for me. I want to finish Dragon Age stream. I want to finish streaming Dragon Age by Monday night stream. And I did the maths, and I'm like at least one stream short, if not more. So I played some off stream that I could condense down into. Here is some cutscenes that happened and some narrative moments that happened. And then I'm going to do a daytime stream today to finish DLC 2. So it's just final mission and Trespasser left, which in theory could be Friday night and Monday night streams. So that's where I'm at. I want to get DLC 2 done today. So I'm gonna show what the end of DLC 1 was like and the start of DLC 2, and then finish DLC 2 here in the daytime, so that I can continue. I can do the final mission on stream tonight. Like as long as like the final base game mission takes me like less than 4 hours, I can do that. Trespasser, as long as that takes like less than 4 hours, I can do that. We always like more Laura. Oh, thanks. Friday's not a bad day of the week for me to do this, because I'm like, I've got accessibility I need to put up in the early afternoon, and I've got like a call I need to do with someone in the early afternoon, so I can't do this all day, but I'm like, yeah, I got a relatively free Friday. Also, I was struggling to beat DLC 1 on stream on Wednesday night, because as I pointed out, I had not made any effort during this playthrough to properly craft decent weapons or armor. I was using really fucking early game weapons and armor that I just accidentally stumbled into, and not anything I'd actively sought out. So I might have spent like 4... Okay, let me tell you what I did yesterday off stream to get you caught up, because we're going to jump into cutscenes and stuff in a minute, but here's the gist. I realized with the weapons and armor I had, I just wasn't going to be able to beat that boss I'd been stuck on for a couple of hours on Wednesday night. And my last save that wasn't in that mission was actually several hours earlier, because I'd overwritten a couple of old saves. So I had to go back to... If any of you were around for Wednesday night stream, I had that whole mission where I was following a river to try and find a temple, and then I had to activate all these things to make a laser go all the way to eventually melt an ice wall around a castle to go do that mission. Yeah, I hadn't even started going down the river yet in my last manual hard save. So I had to replay all of the going down the river and activating all the lasers and melting the ice wall and whatever, so I was like ready to restart that mission. And then I went and did a item duplication glitch for a while to make myself some money, to be able to buy a bunch of armor schematics and materials for armor crafting from the DLC shop to craft myself some decent armor. And once I had some decent armor, that fight became a little bit of a fucking cakewalk. Yeah, no. The whole reason I've been struggling as much as I have for as long as I have is I have had absolutely minimal armor, which has not helped. So I spent like 4 hours replaying just to get back to where I was, and another couple of hours duplicating items and getting myself some good armor. So now my squad's rocking up with some decent stuff. Let's have a little recap of the things that I did off stream that were narrative-ish. Give me a second. This is going to be the Laura recaps everyone on what happened. Oh, where did the clip start? I'm trying to work out which one. one do I want to start with? Okay, I'm looking for like a 5-minute... I think it's... yeah, it'll be this one. Okay, so this was my successful fight against the boss that I was stuck on Wednesday. Now that I have come back with decent armor. It's not the armor you're seeing me use in the actual play session today, because for beating this boss I got some cool Dragon Slayer armor, and that is the armor that I'm using now. But as you will see, I realized there was a much easier way of doing this. So this first phase, I throw down my big rift attack, kill these two big fuckers as quickly as I can with a big... Now that I have a decent hammer as well, I can kind of just melt through them pretty quickly. And then very quickly drop down my protect me from magic projectiles shield and just come in and wreck these mages very quickly. So I've already beaten phase 1. Oh no, sorry, 1 mage left. There were some attempts where, like, just dropping the green rift down, that was almost enough by itself for me to take out phase 1. Yeah, this is the dude who I spent, like, I was up till, like, 2 in the morning trying to beat on Wednesday. As you will see, I actually do decent damage to him now when I actually get in and start hitting him, as opposed to doing my spin attack and slightly too far away. There was still a little degree of me using Varric as my turn invisible revive everyone person, but like it wasn't nearly as frequent. Yeah, I still had 4 of my healing items going into this second phase without even using the supply crate, which is back here. I had enough damage output with my new axe that I could take out the additional spawns before they became too much of a big problem. Hey, Echo.
Careful! Hold to us up close.
Yes, remembering to stay warm. But yeah, we've already taken down like half of that boss's health. It's remarkable. It wasn't even putting armor on like putting armor on myself and Iron Bull was like pretty helpful, because we're both meant theoretically we're the party tanks, and the tank actually being able to tank some damage is really helpful. But what was more helpful was giving Solus and Varric some proper armor so that the squishier party members could survive more than like 2 or 3 seconds of the tanks not drawing aggro. Like, if we lost aggro for a second, it was fine, they could probably handle it. I've still got another set of 8 potions I can pick up from the supply cache in the battlefield if I need to. I'm down to 1. As you can see, we're down to like better than halfway down on that boss. I don't think yet I've had to revive anyone in the boss fight. Again, it's remarkable what just engaging with the crafting system will do in this game. Here's the thing, as I've said before, I don't dislike the crafting system in this game, but I think that it's a little fiddly, a little convoluted, and there's no good place in a Twitch stream to do it. It's one of those things that, like, I want to fuck around with off stream, and playing on stream, trying to like get through the game in a timely manner because I had other games coming out I wanted to stream. There was never a point where I wanted to stop a stream to do the fiddling about trying to make good armor, and that caught up with me. Like this first DLC boss is the time that really caught up with me. There we go. We beat the boss. The thing doesn't automatically register as we've won because I think I have to kill the glowing ice spirit sprite things in the room. It took me a minute to work out. So I think if we go to... yeah, if we go to the next clip, which is this one, I realize I have to kill these completely useless ice bursts in the room before it will register as you have defeated all of the enemies the boss fight is over, despite the fact that these do nothing unless you walk up to them. They take a single hit to explode. So yes, this is the last, the previous Inquisitor from 800 years ago.
Inquisitor.
This is who our whole mission was to try and find him.
Spread far while I slept. Inquisitor Emeridin. You disappeared in 120 Divine, around the time of the signing of the Navaran Accord.
You say it as though it was...
A while ago, yeah.
How long?
There has not been an Inquisitor since you disappeared, 800 years ago.
Draken was my oldest friend. He would have sent someone to find me.
He never had the chance. The dark spawn that rose in the Enderfells threatened all of Orlais.
I see.
He's
Talana
basically
escaped.
Zelda in Breath of the Wild. He spent 800 years just
Do the records
holding
say what
an
became
evil
of her?
god in place.
Talana died of old age many years later. She never forgot you.
You lie well. But I hunted demons in Maleficarum long before I was Inquisitor. I never wanted this job. Hunting demons was so much simpler than politics. But Draken told me I was needed. As I suspect you were needed.
I wasn't Inquisitor by choice. Whatever my life was before,
Take moments of happiness where you find them.
I want to talk about that narrative choice I made there, and like, it's really silly little thing I want to talk about. I played the Inquisitor this time around as someone really weighed down by the burden of being Inquisitor. I didn't ask for this, and it really takes a toll. Specifically because I'm doing the romance with Iron Bull, and I think that's a really satisfying choice to do when the Iron Bull romance is explicitly about, like, hey, here's a BDSM relationship to basically let you surrender control for a bit because you're a bit fucking overwhelmed by having to be responsible for everyone. And I like that as a pairing of things. Anyway, I'll let you
Dragon
get back to
carries
waffling.
the spirit of an Avar god. I lacked the strength to kill it. But when the cultists drew that spirit into another vessel, it disrupted my bindings. It is breaking free.
Okay, no, it's less Zelda in Breath of the Wild. It's more
I'd be honored
Rauru
to finish what
holding
you started.
Ganondorf's
Thank
body
you.
at the start of
The
Tears of the
passage
Kingdom.
of years
Until we
can
get
be
there.
delayed, but not ignored. I will soon join Talana.
No,
at Andraste's
Rauru's about to
side.
lose his grip on
Take this.
Ganondorf's little
It
shriveled
holds the last
corpse.
few memories of an old hunter who was neither as wise nor as strong as he thought. Fight well, Inquisitor. I'm honored
So-
to have met you.
After this, I run around for a while, like, collecting his old memories and listening to him talk about his time as Inquisitor, but the main thing is, this dragon has an evil god inside of it. We gotta go fight this dragon. Which I did.
Still need to deal with
I was
the
glad
dragon
to
at
see it
some
fucking
point.
leave
Probably
and
has
not
the
make me
Avar
fight it
god
right
back
then and there.
inside it.
Plate mail of the Dragon Hunter. That is what I'm now wearing in the playthrough. So I think we can now skip to me fighting Big Dragon. You don't need to see most of the fight. Really, it's like when we fought that dragon in the hinterlands, except it spawned, it's like the little dragon that spawns in looked a little different, and it breathes ice rather than fire, but generally speaking, it's a dragon in Dragon Age. It has a fairly predictable moveset. They have one way that a dragon fights. Oh yeah, the little summons are there, the little velociraptors we have to occasionally fight. Little ice velociraptors. But yes, they designed one moveset for a dragon, and new dragon to fight means same moveset. Here we go. Get fight going again. There was a little bit of using Varrock. There was... Actually, yeah, we didn't have to do that at all in that boss fight. But yes, in the dragon fight, there was a little bit of using Varrock as the get everyone revived person like we did in the Hinterlands dragon fight. Yeah, I don't know what happened at the end here. I feel like the dragon looked like it had a chunk of health left, and then like one hit and suddenly it was dead. I haven't watched this back since doing it, and I'm trying to remember exactly what happened, but I feel like it pretty suddenly died. Maybe it was more gradual than I thought. In my head, I remember it being one good hit and suddenly it was gone. I suppose it's closer to death than I thought. Maybe it's just it might be because this last portion of the fight I was in lock-on mode, so I wasn't looking at the health bar in the top right. That's probably it. Yeah, I spent this whole portion of the fight at the end not in lock-on, which caught me a little off guard on my end. We got to go.
Never gotten to see you take down a dragon in person. I must say, it's fun to see it up close.
Also, this is something I was thinking about. So one thing we know about Veilguard is if you don't romance any of the companions, they'll sometimes hook up with each other, and the only example the devs have given us is Harding and Tash, the dragon hunter, the Canary dragon hunter, will hook up if you don't hook up with either of them. If you listen to Harding here, she's like, oh, I've never seen you kill a dragon before. It's fun to see it up close. Really makes it seem like she's quite into people who slay dragons. Might just be her type. And that accidentally we have created here Canary that slayed a dragon being a turn on for Harding. We might have accidentally created that situation here that now will be canon in Veilguard is Harding going, ooh, it's quite fun watching you kill dragons up close. Really, really revs my engine, if you know what I mean. We don't have engines in this setting. What do I mean?
Perhaps this calls for a new title. Dragon Slayer Harding, perhaps.
Oh, a fancy title goes against the point of being a scout.
Dragon Slayer
Nobody
Harding.
should see me coming. Inquisitor Meriden would have been proud that you finished what he started. It's strange. History forgot so much
Echo,
of
you
who he
are
was.
correct. Dragon Slayer
They never
would be
knew
a
he
very
died
sexy
saving
profession.
everyone. Do you ever feel that way?
Look, you're not wrong that Dragon Slayer would be a very sexy profession, but when I go to the bar and people ask what I do for a living, and I say, I'm a Dragon Slayer in video games, I killed a dragon in a video game today, they don't find it as sexy as I would hope.
There are things they don't understand. Things no one outside the Inquisition will ever know.
Some of the secrets are necessary. Every time you're more than just a person to someone, you're also less than a person to them.
Well
they don't
put.
see that a real normal woman fought the Avar and killed that dragon, and they certainly don't know about your
Uncultured
strange
swine
fixation
indeed.
with Elfroot.
I should be allowed to call myself a professional Dragon Slayer if
My
I want.
feelings
That
for
should be an
Elfrid are
accurate.
classified, Scout Harding.
That should be an accurate job descriptor for
I'll
me.
carry your secret to my pyre. For what it's worth. Nice work, Adar. Anyway, I'll be
See,
at camp if there's anything here you want to
you
finish
can
up.
see what Harding Tash relationship is gonna kind of look like here, I think. Okay, cool. So then we slayed the dragon. Then we went and activated DLC 2. We're almost caught up. So this is DLC 2. We're gonna go down into some mines. There might be a monster down there.
The workers are almost done building a lift to the deep roads. No darkspawn trouble yet, but the earthquakes have been brutal.
I was told to meet a Shaper Volta.
She's waiting below. You won't see an Orzammar dwarf on the surface. They have rules about that.
Josephine's report mentioned several Lyria mines were damaged by the quakes.
You'll see what's left of this one on your way down. From what I hear, the other mines are barely holding together.
From your tone, I'd guess Orzammar isn't your favorite place.
I don't have an opinion. Cloud gazers like me aren't allowed in the city.
Yeah, we have Varric in our party, who will be allowed down into that city, and no reference to the fact we brought Varric on this mission will be made.
The lift's ready for you.
Yeah, despite him being a cloud gazer. He's gazed at a cloud or two in his time. It's not the city. I suppose? But then again, why couldn't Harding come down with us then?
Keep back from the edge. It's...
Because, like, Harding's here implying, like, she can't come down with her. Like, she can't go further than this because she's a cloud gazer. Like, it seems like she could go quite a way into these mines.
A long way down.
You see what I mean? She implies that she's not allowed to go any further.
Shocking.
It's about an impossibly handsome dwarf and his friend who got crowned King of the Nugs.
A Nug King, really?
It's not as good as it sounds. Nugs mostly just shit on the floor and roll in it. Welcome to the Deep Roads.
I always forget that in this setting, like, a Nug is a name of a creature. Because every time, like Nug comes up in this, I always think they mean testicle. Like, King of the Nugs, I thought he was like, he became King of the Balls, King of the testicles. Like, even when Iron Bull says, I don't give a Nug's ass if Krem can't piss standing up, or finds it a little harder to piss standing up. In my head, a Nug's ass, I'm like, yeah, testicles ass. A Nug being a creature just doesn't compute in my head.
So, the Deep Roads. Do you think there'll be tight spaces? Long hallways with low ceilings?
King of the chicken nuggets.
I'm just hoping my horns fit.
Dwarves cannot dream, yet they devise the most fascinating inventions.
Tara, I get logically that Harding is just showing her disapproval for the classism of the dwarves. But I would say two things. First of all, are her group of dwarves not equally classist towards the underground dwarves? Is that not a two-way classism road? Like, I thought both groups kind of were, like, a little bit bigoted toward the other group. But secondly, my point is more, we bring Varric on this mission, and I think it's notable that, like, Harding makes a point to point out the classism exists, yet bringing Varric on the mission doesn't lead to any interactions of classism happening. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but I think it's interesting that that's not an opportunity used for them to make any comments about Varric's presence, or for Varric to make any comments during the mission about the situation. It's one of those, I'm glad that Harding makes the comment. It's interesting to me that Varric... that in no direction does Varric's presence get brought up once the mission is actually going.
Not all ideas come from the Fade.
True, but these designs must be inspired by something.
And we go.
Harut, Magar, Navrik, your names will not be forgotten.
You must be Shaper Volta.
A trust Vala, Inquisitor. The Shaper it welcomes you to the Deep Roads.
Is that Liara's voice actor from Mass Effect?
What does a Shaper do exactly?
We chronicle the life and times of our people.
You're historians.
Also scholars and genealogists. Shapers preserve
Playing
knowledge
yet
in
another
memories.
character. Okay, Tara, my apologies for my my incorrection there. The surface dwarves were cast out of the city because their ancestor broke a law. And yeah, they should have had Varric get some dialogue about being a surface dwarf. Okay, my apologies for not having it right in my head. Okay, it is just the underground dwarves don't like the surface dwarves. But yes, my point remains. Harding makes a point of like, hey, they don't fucking like us down there. And then Varric coming on the mission is not in any way a thing. Like, I'd have respected if they'd been like, no, you cannot bring Varric on this mission, you have to bring a different rogue on the mission. I'd have been like, that would have been an interesting narrative choice. Hey, Artist Synth. But yes, I'm pretty sure this is Liara from Mass Effect playing yet another I research and chronicle, and I'm a bit of an archaeologist, historian, anthropologist.
We record memories in lyrium to ensure they never fade. We must be meticulous in every detail.
Talk about being
My
typecast as a
ambassador
voice
briefed
actor.
me, but now I hear there are still more quakes?
Each new tremor opens another fissure in the deep road. Our situation has worsened since we contacted Skyhold. The quakes collapsed this mine and shattered a seal, keeping the Darkspawn at bay. The Legion of the Dead hasn't been able to mend the broken seal, and we can't afford to lose any more lyrium.
I've read about the Legion of the Dead. Dwarves who fight Darkspawn in service to Orzammar. They commit their lives to the cause, and celebrate their own funerals before entering the deep roads.
No matter their sins in life, the Legion die noble deaths.
The Inquisition stands ready to aid Orzammar. Without a steady lyrium supply, things on the surface will get even worse.
Yes, Terra says they claim once a dwarf sees the sky, they lose their soul, which is part of the stone. Their religion is weird. Okay, talking a little bit about, like, Veilguard spoilery stuff. That's something that's really interesting about one of the trailers. Like, a thing that has been teased in one of the trailers for Veilguard that I think is very interesting is seemingly Harding being able to use some form of stone magic is briefly shown in one of the trailers. And that would completely throw on its head the Orzammar religion, because it would mean admitting that a sky-gazing dwarf, a dwarf who has seen the sky above, being the first one to unlock some ancient ancestral piece of magic that has been long lost, would suggest they've not lost their soul at all. If anything, they are still very connected to the stone. And that's super interesting, because, like, what I hope that storyline is, like, I want it to be a proper upheaval of the Dwarven religion. The Dwarven religion having to come to a bit of a self-reckoning about the fact that maybe the religious prejudices we've decided apply to certain people who've seen the sky, maybe we have to start rethinking that, given that one of the sky viewers has access to ancient dwarven magic that, like, those of us who've only ever been down under the stone don't have. Super interesting concept. I can't remember if I said, but hello, Artisan.
Apologies for pushing you. I fear the damage that tremor caused.
Okay, yeah, that's basically it. So, we continue digging down, we continue going down.
Than I thought. The stench of Darkspawn. They corrupt everything.
Okay, yeah, this is next bit. We start fighting our way down into the mines.
Get those charges to the tunnels!
Things down here are not good, to say the least.
Someone prime the sonic fuses!
We end up priming the sorting fuses. I can skim a little through this. We fought some Darkspawn. Prime the fuses. Ah, we did it. And now we get to the most hilarious mechanical inclusion in DLC 2. The second war table. The second war council table, because this game needed an additional place that side quests might show up on a map, maybe. A second timed quest management system.
A veteran of the 5th Flight and one of the Legion's finest commanders.
Someone paid her to say that.
Where do I know this man's voice from?
Appreciate the help, Inquisitor. Collapsing that seal bought us time. Blighters had the run of these tunnels for days.
It's
now they have a roadblock.
He might be Snake. Snake's not who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Double H from Beyond Good and Evil. He might be the voice of Snake. I'm pretty sure he's also Double H from Beyond Good and Evil. There's just something about his performance here where he's like, yeah, Jade Tyrus.
For such a small group, your people have held up well.
The Quakes took a lot of us. Reinforcements will be slow to arrive.
I'm gonna Google this. If it's Snake, then that means it's David Hayter. Is David Hayter Double H?
Take cover!
Oh, he's the bartender in Yakuza. Okay.
You heard that, yes? The rhythm in the tremors? It's clearer, stronger, more insistent.
I hear it. Doesn't prove a thing.
These quakes are not a natural disaster. They're deliberate. There's an intelligence behind them.
If something is
No,
causing
he
them,
is Snake.
the
He's
strength
not Double
required
H.
would be
Okay, I
incredible.
stand corrected.
What could do that?
I found an ancient text during an expedition with Ren last year. At the time, it was just
Double
a
H is who
curiosity.
his performance is
Now-
reminding me of, at least.
The text describes giant creatures called Titans living deep underground. They sing in
I
the
wonder
stone,
if we will go
shaking.
fight a Titan,
When
maybe.
these quakes began, I believe we heard that rhythm. I believe a Titan is causing all this destruction.
I trust you, Dwarven Liara. Your spacebound version tends to know things.
Mysterious songs often lure people to their deaths, or to an archdemon.
This rhythm isn't a song, exactly. It sounds like air flowing through lungs.
Air that can collapse a whole mine.
A mystery worth investigating.
In my experience, no explanation is too strange to consider.
The rhythm I sense in the quakes is emanating from somewhere far below.
And if it comes to a fight, that'll be our job.
Hooray! We now have the Deep Roads Expedition table. It's basically the war table again. Right, so we're almost caught up where I was at. I fought some Darkspawn. Started fighting ogres, which is fun.
There's nothing left of them. Can't even tell who they were.
I'm sorry, Ren.
You join the Legion knowing you're already dead. You don't fear the killing blow. We rest in the stone and pass our strength back to her. That's our reward. But the Darkspawn defiled these soldiers. They can't return to the stone. They'd only weaken her.
We'll make the Darkspawn pay for what they've done.
I've killed so many. But every time I stare into their black eyes, I know one day I won't be quick enough.
Stop it.
It's the truth, Volta. I'm going to die down here. I can only hope it won't be like this.
We'll burn the remains. Honor them with flame.
Okay, right. Then... Oh, I have to talk about this clip. I encountered... Okay, well, I think this is, like, maybe the final thing we have to watch before we're all caught up. I managed to accidentally create a glitch where my Inquisitor turned invisible. So we're about to start by watching a fight where my Inquisitor is invisible, and then a cutscene in which she is invisible. So I hope you're ready for that. I'm just those little swirls in the air. We're gonna skim forward a little bit through my invisible fight. And then leaving the chamber. There's points like when I pull this lever here where it almost looks like I go first person. And this is where we are in-game. So once this cutscene plays out, we are caught up. I've caught you up on all of yesterday's getting myself back into a playable position.
That's the last of those, Darkspawn. Legion's in your debt, Inquisitor.
Look at this, Ren. It's ancient. Maybe 1,000 years old.
Any idea who built it? Or why?
This Tig is on top of a lyrium mine. According to the memories, the mine was destroyed by some unexplained disaster. The miners must have used this lift to reach the lower levels.
But we're not using it, right?
If there is a Titan causing earthquakes, it's down there.
I found this book with the emissary. The pages are mostly ruined, but a few are readable. See this line? I awoke to the singing stone. Our kingdom trembled at the Titan's hymn.
There I am. I'm sure there.
It would seem you're not the first to connect earthquakes to Titans.
Not to keep beating a dead Bronto, but there's no actual evidence that what happened then and now are the same.
Singing tremors, destroying a mine and threatening a Tig? You don't see any similarity?
I think you're reading where you want to read.
Perhaps this will change your mind. Look here. It's the royal seal of Orsec Garal.
King Orsec Garal? That book belonged to a paragon?
Yep, not a
You
renegade.
are sorry, Volta. Hey, challenging tradition lost you a cushy position in Orzammar.
Does a king's book mean that much to you, Ren?
Paragons are the best of our people. They don't hand that title out to just anyone. Not even a king. Knowing it was Garal's book from the start would have saved us an argument.
As if you'd ever avoid an argument.
Volta standing within the Shaperate is her business, not mine or yours, Ren.
My apologies, Volta. I forgot my place.
As did I. You deserve an explanation, Inquisitor. When my superiors ordered me to remove an official record from the memories, I declined. We decided it would be best if I served the Shaperate here, finding history instead of recording it.
I've got to remember to have my meds. Or at least the ones
The record must have been
were
important.
in stock.
It was trivial, actually. A childhood friend of King Balin had ancestral ties to the Carta. But the truth is the truth, no matter how political it may be.
Grumble, grumble at ADHD
It takes
medication
courage to
shortages.
challenge authority.
I suppose you would know. Some believe the past is what we make it. But we gain nothing from ignoring mistakes.
I'm sorry I brought it up. I don't know where this lift leads, but we're about to find out.
You
the
have
hard
indeed
way.
joined for Invisible Dragon Age. Don't worry. Once we get out of this cutscene, I do have a visible Inquisitor again. So yeah, this is where I got to off stream. We were at that camp up there. Everyone is caught up. Let's head down. Well, we will when I can work out how to activate this elevator. Why is there not a thing to activate the elevator on the elevator? Why do I have to activate it and then walk on? Right, it does seem like a bad system. Yes, off the top of my head, I think we're like 2 or 3 floors down from the bottom of the mine. Yeah, just get on the lift real fast. That does not seem like accessible lift design if you have to activate it and then just fucking leg it. Yeah, how far? Okay, so we've got 2 more floors after this before we reach the
What was
bottom.
that?
What was what?
Something moved. There. Light a torch.
So I can see us coming? Just stay close.
No, light a torch so I can see where I'm going, game. Like, I know you don't want this thing to see us, but I'd rather... If I could see it, I think that's a worthwhile trade-off.
The air is different. Stale.
We've gone past the deep roads.
How can you tell? It's pitch black.
I can feel it.
Yeah, I don't really want to go two floors deeper than this level of deep darkness. Okay, I'm gonna have to use the quest map, okay, to check, and then, yeah, if we set the quest marker, I can at least get a rough way to angle myself. I mean, the biggest accessibility barrier with those lifts is none of the lifts in the deep roads have any kind of sides to them. Like, the first one we use is just a flat platform that you have to not move around too much in case it leans too much, with no, like, barrier walls at the sides. That's where I'm concerned, is the lack of barriers on the sides of the lifts. Ah. He did say with some confidence he knew he was going to die down here.
Not at all.
It really looks like energy blasts happening, and given that this is BioWare, I'm like, oh no, the Geth have arrived. This seems like as good a time as any to hit everyone with one big attack. Well, hopefully your package driver felt loved. Well, there we go, everyone. I'm glad I had an opportunity to show you all the cutscenes to get you emotionally attached to this man before we let him die.
He was a cobbler, a good one. He joined the Legion to pay his father's debts. It kept his mother and brother from losing their caste. The poor and desperate here often sacrifice themselves for their future.
Way to liven the mood up, Terra. Never change. Jeffrey Bunting says, is this game fun? Because Steam and Xbox keep trying to make me play it, either by being on sale or on Game Pass, and I'm always a bit even though I liked Origins way back when. Dragon Age Inquisition is a great game with some caveats. There are some things I think are worth knowing going into Inquisition. First of all, there is one stumbling block hurdle that is the place where most people drop off the game. The first big open world area of the game is a place called the Hinterlands, and the advice I give to people is do the minimum number of quests required, and then leave the Hinterlands. Because the game is not very good at telling you, if you do a couple of quests and get a couple of reputation, you can go on and start doing other things. You don't have to do everything here. While giving you a map that seems purpose-built to make it seem like you're supposed to do everything in each big open world map before you move on. And so many people try and do everything possible in the Hinterlands before leaving and burn themselves out. The game is not very good at telling you when it's okay for you to move on. Like, do 2 or 3 quests in the Hinterlands and leave, and you will start seeing other places open up. And, like, that's one of this game's problems. I think that this game also suffers from, if you've played other, like, Mass Effect, like, BioWare RPGs, the point where those start getting really good is when you start getting quests that are, like, really tied into the personalities of your party members, and the game really starts to let you get to know who it is you're traveling with. I think that Inquisition kind of waits a little too long to do that. I would go as far as to say even, ignore a lot of side content until you get to, like, the introduction of the villain that takes a little while. Because, like, the second act of the game, once you've met the villain, and the game starts giving you companion stories. Absolutely some of BioWare's best work. The last problem is it has kind of an awkward inventory system. You have a limited amount of inventory space, and the game sort of relies on you constantly throwing out equipment if it's not 100% the perfect piece of equipment, and crafting new gear for yourself pretty regularly in a way that the game does not really point you towards or explain. I know I'm mainly listing problems. I'm listing problems because I think this game is, like, one of the best narrative-focused fantasy RPGs out there, but it does come with a lot of things where the game doesn't help itself. If you go into this knowing that, and being okay with the fact that, like, you're gonna have to just vibe out when you've done enough progress in an area that you can leave, or be okay with, like, hey, if I want to 100% everything in an area, there's going to be a lot to 100% in an area. And there's going to be a little systems fiddly. There is really fucking good story and some really satisfying combat to be found in there. Tara says, to be fair, I've been waiting to do this ever since you started the stream. See, here was me thinking it was the voice of Double H. I wouldn't have clicked that it was David Hayter, so I'd have missed the opportunity to make that joke. So I'm glad you were here to know who that voice actor was. He knew the risk. He knew the risk feels like the most true. He was coming down here saying, I know I'm going to die here doing my duty, but that's not the emotionally sensible thing to say. Yeah.
Ren was a good man. We'll honor his sacrifice.
He always seemed indestructible. The armor on these warriors. There's lyrium woven directly into the metal, and it's bonded to their skin. Impossible to remove, but I know what we'd find underneath. These are dwarves. Ren was killed by our own kind.
Yeah, like, if I was gonna say, like, the biggest problem this game has is getting to the bit where, like, it finds its footing. I would say, if you just kind of mainline only the plot-critical stuff until Corypheus shows up, the game really finds its footing, and I think it's the thing that hurts this game the most, is the slow plodding intro where the game is, like, because the inciting incident hasn't happened yet, it's hesitant to let you start doing character development, and I think that is the game's biggest weakness. I'm so up and down on fantasy RPGs, was apparently the only person who disliked Baldur's Gate 3 and poking out of the stair in Origins really found Dragon Age 2 really boring. I see. Yeah, it's... Baldur's Gate 3 is one that I think it does a lot very interesting, while also going... It is a pretty brutal systems-heavy game that is very unforgiving in its learning curve. And that for all of the things that Baldur's Gate 3 does very impressively in terms of sheer scope and scale of choice-based activity, it does so at the expense of being a little unwieldy. It does so at the expense of being not a tightly crafted experience. It is open-ended choice at the expense of tight linear crafting, and both have their pros and cons as approaches, and I'm glad that a game like Baldur's Gate 3 exists, while also going, my preference is really for a more, like, my heart is truly with the more linear narrative RPG, or the ones that are on a little tighter of a leash. Echo says, to be fair, I also struggle to get on with Baldur's Gate 3. I really want to like it because it does a bunch of cool stuff, but it also focuses on a lot of things I dislike most about D&D. Yeah, here's the thing about Baldur's Gate 3. Narratively, the plot is written like, you know, a modern podcast-era 5th edition D&D story would be told, while mechanically playing a lot more like a 3rd edition campaign, where it's like, we are going to be a very rules lawyer, systems heavy, combat focused. You're like entering a camp, fighting some people, and finding a person and getting out might be like a 6-hour series of fighting. Like, it is combat for the like 80s combat, like kind of brutal DM combat RPG, mixed with your very like queer Critical Role, Adventure Zone era storytelling style of 5th edition storytelling style. It's a mix, and it's not. Its balance isn't where I enjoy in D&D. I think that there is a lot to love in Baldur's Gate 3, but it is not a thing I easily recommend. Jeffrey Bunting says, to be fair, I followed online advice to trust the dice and just ended up dying and failing a lot and not seeing the allegedly cool stuff people were raving about. You know what game I think does a much better job of let failure happen, it'll lead to cool shit? Is Disco Elysium. Disco Elysium is the only video game I've played where I genuinely feel like letting a failure like roll out doesn't hamper your forward progression, but does lead to cool incidental moments. The moment I talked, I did Polygon's review for Disco Elysium back in the day, and I opened with, and I know this is an anecdote that everyone uses when they talk about this game, but I think it is a really good exemplary example, is there was an entire side quest found very early in the game about wanting to do karaoke, and you do this whole quest of, like, finding a cassette tape and, like, practicing the song, and then I failed one roll when it was time for me to perform this song in karaoke, and I had to listen to 3.5 minutes of the voice actor absolutely butchering a performance of this song, and it was fucking great. It was like hours of doing a side quest, and my reward was 3.5 minutes of a man warbling out of key, and I was like, that's proper let the dice be the dice. It didn't cost me any actual real-world consequences in the world, but I got to see a cool scene because I let him be an embarrassment. I'm Alex C says, I got to a bit in Baldur's Gate 3 where I locked myself out of a bunch of sub-quests, so I don't know whether the saves come or not. Here's the thing, if you were playing an actual game of D&D, a good DM would kind of nudge you and go, this is a point of no return, do you want to get those side quests done? In a way that Baldur's Gate 3 is a kind of older, more old-school style of DM, like D&D DMing, of like, nope, the world moves on without you, tough luck, you didn't get to fucking do it. Like, it's a different approach. Oh, Jeffrey, it is a safe place to admit you don't like Disco Elysium either. Disco Elysium is not for everyone. It has its problems. I just think it's one that does a better job than Baldur's Gate 3 of the... I fully recommend save scumming in Baldur's Gate 3 in a way that I don't recommend it in Disco Elysium. Disco Elysium is one where I am like, I do think that let the dice roll is kind of a truer thing to say. Echo says, I still need to play Disco. I've owned it for like 2 years, but I'm just intimidated to start it. It's a bit scary to jump into, but it's good. Yeah, Echo says, the characters are written really well in Baldur's Gate 3, but unless you focus on min-maxing for combat, you're going to find it a slog to get the cool character bits. Yeah, the problem with Baldur's Gate 3's combat is similar to Inquisition's problem, is both of them kind of want you to understand efficient builds without really giving you a chance to play around and find those builds. Because, like, I'm level, what, 23 at this point in this Inquisition playthrough. I've had 23 opportunities to pick something on the upgrade tree. That's not a lot of opportunities to work down a tree, see if it feels right, and then course correct and start building down a different bit of the spec tree. I don't play warrior very much, and I tried a different build this time, and I realized, like, halfway in, I was like, this build isn't actually very efficient. But because there's, like, not as many opportunities to put points in when leveling up, there's not as many ability to course correct yourself a little bit. Baldur's Gate 3 is a little similar. You can get a ways into that game and realize I haven't optimally built a build enough for combat to not just drag and impact the pacing of it. Anyway, yes. Why did the weapons are powerful?
All it took was a single strike.
Let's make progress. Let's find out about these
The bolt was
dwarves.
glowing. Their weapons could also have been infused with lyrium. I won't leave Ren like this. We must return him to the stone. Thrust Tonsha Saroka. I'll see this through, Ren. I promise.
The corpse of that defeated enemy being right in front of the camera and blocking our line of sight for that cutscene was a little
Anything
amusing.
standing between us and the Titan will regret it.
Okay, right. Let's continue through this. Am I going the right way? Yeah. Okay. Follow the dark corridor. Oh, hooray! Some underground lighting. Yeah. Echo says, I got to about the same level on my last Inquisition playthrough, realized my build was awful and had to go buy one of the respec amulets to start over. It especially doesn't encourage mixing skill trees for interesting combos unless you're reading a guide first, or really just planning ahead. Yeah, but again, here's kind of the problem. The respec amulets are pretty affordable. They're what, like 360 something gold? They're not that expensive. And the first one I think is like only a single gold. But the game doesn't tell you they exist or where to find them. The game does not point you to the fact that, like, you could go get a relatively affordable item and respec your character build from scratch. It doesn't. It's one of those things. This game just doesn't tell you. Because, like, I'll put it this way. I've talked about this before. I tried playing Dragon Age Inquisition and really didn't get on with it my first time I played it. I wouldn't have thought I would have been a big BioWare RPG person. It wasn't until I eventually started playing the Mass Effect trilogy, which I think is much better at getting to the things BioWare does well faster than Dragon Age, whether you prefer Dragon Age's world or Mass Effect. Mass Effect gets to the heart of a good BioWare RPG a lot quicker. I really loved the Mass Effect trilogy, and I came back to Inquisition and gave Inquisition more of a chance, because I was like, clearly BioWare can do stuff I really enjoy. Let's try and find where that is in Inquisition. And I don't know that I would have persevered through getting to the good stuff in Inquisition if I hadn't known and had some faith that BioWare was capable of making stuff I really dig. I think that's about the best way I can put that. Oh, there we go. Things lighting up. Camera. Stop getting stuck in. Oh! Oh, that's what's happening. My shield is black rather than green for some reason. I love that this game has had its bugs and things fixed over the last decade. Oh, there's something in this I didn't realize until the other day. You know how when Tears of the Kingdom launched, there was an item duplication glitch that was really easy, where you just held an item and then pressed, I think it was A and B at the same time, so you picked up the item but also dropped the item, so it was on the floor but also back in your inventory. That's exactly how the item duplication glitch in Dragon Age works. It's you put a thing in item storage and then press A and B at the same time. It's literally the accept and cancel. I hadn't... It took me way too long to twig. Oh, it's literally the same bug caused by the same developer oversight, activated the exact same way. If you want to stop item duplication glitches in your video games, like, that should be thing number one to get QA to test, is A and B at the same time does that duplicate shit. Where is this taking us? We're ultimately trying to get here. It's gonna let us U-turn, maybe?
This is like the Wall of Memories in Orzammar, but ancient. Very ancient. The words seem based in Dwarven, but I barely recognize this dialect.
Can you translate any of it?
Only fragments. The language is very different from what we speak today. This word keeps appearing. Shah Brital. I believe it means revered defenders.
What needs to be protected all the way down here?
Mayhaps the Titan that is rumored to be rumbling, one might suspect.
Isatanal. Isatanal. Cut our tongues. Entomb our bodies. Watch over the Titan until it stirs.
There we go.
So the warriors who attacked us must be the Shabratal, and they're protecting a Titan.
Yeah, but who's going to protect
You all
you
right,
from the
Walter?
Titan and its earthquakes?
I can hear Ren's objections. Let's keep moving. If more of these memories exist, they may have the answers we need.
They may. Mayhaps. I do wish the minimap in this showed the, like, sketch details that you can see on the main map. So that I could use the minimap to, say, detect where I should be sort of turning to the side to go this way. I wish it wasn't just a compass of, like, quest and enemy directions. My party members really cannot seem to work out how to get up here to help me fight this enemy. Hey, the BT. Good morning. Mystery stream prediction. Skyrim VR with a play as a mudcrab mod, sponsored by Mike's Hard Lemonade. Yes, you called it in one, the BT. My mystery stream is definitely a Skyrim VR mudcrab stream sponsored by Mike's Hard Lemonade. And I'm impressed you guessed that one, given that that would be my second sponsored stream ever in over a decade of doing this stuff. You called it. It was Train Simulator and a Mike's Hard Lemonade Mud Crab Skyrim VR stream. Yeah, you called it. You've correctly predicted my second ever sponsored stream.
On the other side. I can feel it.
My guess is another earthquake that hits when we're halfway across.
Oh, have a good night, Terra. Rest well.
That wasn't a quake. Someone sabotaged the bridge, and we don't have time to fix it.
Someone does not wish to be disturbed. There must be another way.
Probably turn right and go...
There. That ledge. We can reach it if we're careful.
If we wanted to be careful, we'd be up on the surface.
Ah, yeah. Echo says, nah, obviously the mystery stream is going to be Concord. The mystery is how Laura can play it and how it's already dead. Other people have talked about this, but, when Concord got pulled off sale, and this shouldn't surprise me, but I've never seen it happen before, my review code from PlayStation for Concord got revoked. Like, my account no longer owns Concord. It's not just that, like, it doesn't work, it doesn't boot or anything. They actively took the review copy off of my account, which I've never seen them do as a step before. It would be impressive if I played Concord at this point. Nah, you see, the trick would be, I've got a bunch of footage from when I played the beta, to make an AA episode about it.
There.
I'll just play
More
that
ancient
footage as if I'm
carvings.
doing it live and not acknowledge that the game's
But these
offline and be
seem to
like,
be about
nah, I'm just playing Concord, guys. Just do an entire stream of deadpan pretending to be playing it live.
Is the stone. It sculpts the world within and without.
If Titans shaped the stone, could they have actually created it?
The stone must have existed first.
Then the Titans would be the very first children of the stone.
That would have huge implications for my people.
And that would suggest that in Veilguard coming up, Harding will be accessing, I guess it would be Titan magic. If Harding is indeed in that trailer using stone magic, she's presumably accessing Power of the Titans?
More memories. More Shabratal. We must be getting close to a Titan. Your theory about the source of the quakes is looking more like fact.
But if this is true, how could it be missing from the memories
Oh,
of
you're
Orzammar?
right, BT. I could
I would
fly a
find erase
Concorde
such an
in
integral
Microsoft
part of
Flight
our
Sim.
history.
There we go.
Let's answer that after we stop the earthquakes.
The rhythm is louder than ever. We're close.
Okay, where are we? Where are we heading? Okay, so we've got, I think, 2 floors deeper to go. The next floor. Then the final
I
floor.
just became the most popular dwarf in the Merchants Guild.
All these lyrium veins, and they're completely untapped.
Shabratal must mine lyrium somewhere. Their weapons and armor are laced with it.
Unless they found another way to harness it.
Get some mushrooms while we're here. Oh, if you want to avoid spoilers for Echoes of Wisdom, maybe, you know, be on the lookout. Maybe put your muted terms on your search or your social medias. Allegedly, I've not seen evidence of it yet, but I've seen some people reporting that apparently Echoes of Wisdom has leaked 2 weeks early. If it has, it's not gotten into like mass market hands yet. Like it's not everywhere. It's not at that stage where it's getting like data mined or anything yet. But there's a couple of screenshots that appear to show it running on emulators, which, if accurate, means it's only a matter of probably days at most before spoilers are everywhere. Yeah, as I've talked about this before, I've been wanting to write a very lengthy essay or video essay at some point at the end of this console generation, because I've been doing a lot of this gen following the weirdness around Switch game leaks ahead of releases, and like the weird community infighting that goes on around those leaks and how they came to be, and like the human aspect of this weird generation where most of Nintendo's games have been available a couple of weeks early for people who are willing to pirate. And I would say you're probably about 24 to 48 hours away from seeing big spoilers for Echoes of Wisdom, because we're at a very predictable point in the, like, a Switch game's about to leak cycle, which is, from what I can tell, where it's at right now is 1 or 2 people have copies of Echoes of Wisdom early. They have not dumped them onto the internet, but they are streaming them in private Discords where people can watch gameplay being screen shared, played in an emulator, screen shared. People in those Discords are taking videos and screenshots, which will probably at some point today start appearing. It'll be about a day or 2 before one of those people gets egged on into putting their copy online, and that happening. So I would say we're in 24 to 36 hours maybe of like big spoilers for Echoes of Wisdom. So like that would be why I warn now. If you want to avoid spoilers, put your mute terms up. It's not everywhere right now, but enough people are seeing it and going, "You have it, give it to us," that it's inevitable that like by the weekend it'll be out there, and you might want to be ready to not get spoiled. It is a fascinating thing to watch unfold, but yeah, the floodgates are soon to open.
They built this to stop us. There must be some way to get through.
Not hitting it. Hitting it is not the way. Okay.
I see no evidence of Darkspawn here.
Let's just be grateful.
But there must be a reason they avoid this place.
let me up. Alright, now go around, now go around. Okay, let's just keep wandering and hope we find something to help with the barrier up here. For anyone who was wondering, it seems like there is probably a state of play coming up real soon. What date was it? Jeff Grubb was talking about it earlier, and I need to remind myself, what was the date he was suggesting? Tuesday, September 24th, so that's not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. A week from Tuesday. 11 days from now. Apparently on the 24th we're getting the state of play, which makes sense because they're presumably going to be eager to show off some of that PS5 Pro gameplay that's going to wow us into all wanting to buy the big fancy Pro console. And there's still more rumors that allegedly end of this month is indeed Switch 2. There is some more of that doing the rounds again. The stuff that's bubbling around is maybe last week of this month. Which again is the same week that allegedly PS5 Pro, well, not allegedly, PS5 Pro pre-orders are going live that week, and it would make sense. Like, if you want to really get people excited for Switch, you announce it at a decent price point and get people to pick it up rather than pick it, like, doing those... Time it right so that they don't do the PS5 Pro pre-orders. It's making more sense as time goes on that might be the plan. Oh, should I have been doing the stupid radar thing near the, near that locked door? Is that what I should have been doing? How did you escape getting killed earlier, sir? Takavian says, I'm on holiday the 21st to 27th of September, and going by past Nintendo announcements, it'll happen when it's most inconvenient for me to watch, so probably in that window. I believe the 26th is the rumor I saw, so you might be correct. Switch 2 announced because you're on holiday might be real. I do think the timing is probably right for at least launch window, launch year, new 3D Mario. stop running away. Oh. The day the PS5 Pro goes on pre-sale, yeah. Which... That's kind of what I'm assuming, is that they're gonna go... Hey, don't... Like an hour before pre-orders go on sale for the Pro, here's the Switch 2. Oh. Literally, there was an item right by the thing I needed to go through.
This weapon of theirs cut through the barrier, but was destroyed in the effort.
Let's keep gathering their weapons. There may be more barriers ahead.
Like, I'll put some things on the table. It seems silly that we've not had those HD re-releases of Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. And I don't think either of them needs performance boost. But I think launch year HD remakes available, playable on a handheld on the Switch 2 makes sense. I've heard rumblings of a Xenoblade X port, which again, I could see that being a launch year. Here's something to play in handheld mode. I think Mario, like a new 3D, like big 3D Mario game, probably that takes inspiration from Bowser's Fury. In some regard, I think makes sense. A Smash port. That's the thing. I think Smash, but it runs at a higher resolution, like it's got a performance patch. I think a lot of what you will see in that launch window is, here is a Switch 2 patch for an existing Switch game. Scarlet and Violet. Like, I reckon you will see a performance upgrade patch. Like, if you put Scarlet and Violet in your Switch 2, it runs better. Like, that just seems like a really fucking easy win. That Switch game that people's most common complaint about was its technical performance. Here it play good. I do think that Metroid Prime 4 is going to be a cross-gen title. I believe that the footage we've currently seen... Let me turn this combat down a bit. I think that the footage we've currently seen for Prime 4 is base Switch footage. I don't think that it's Switch successor. But I think it'll be cross-gen, it'll have a Switch 2 patch. I think it'll be a launch day title. I think it's going to be their Breath of the Wild. It's going to be their... You can buy it on the last gen, or you can have it shiny on new gen. I think Prime 2 and 3 remasters, I think, will be on the base Switch. I think they'll be announced, like, November this year, give you a few months to play them. Releasing late this year, early next year, ready for Prime 4. Oh yeah, like, 100% like a Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom performance patch, so they run at 60 frames a second, or whatever. Like, if rumors are to be believed, Gamescom 2023, some technical presentations were happening, and one of the things being shown was, very specifically, here is a version of Breath of the Wild that runs at 60 FPS with a higher resolution. And if that was being used as, like, a technical demo for like, showing devs, like, improvements, I fully expect that to be a thing that's available. Like, hey, play your Zeldas at a fancier res. Like, I think they're going to want some stuff that is exclusive, but I think a lot of what fills out the first year is, hey, go back and play your favorite Switch games with improvements. Alongside a decent launch lineup, because, like, the rumor is that the reason that it's launching when it is that Nintendo internally pushed it back a while because they wanted to have a really robust, like, year one first-party library available. What Nintendo franchises that get regular installments have we not seen a new one of in a while? Like, we're getting a Mario Party this year, so I don't think Mario Party... Mario Kart, maybe. It's only just finished getting its big booster course stuff, but, like, Mario Kart 9 feels like it's on the horizon. Luigi's Mansion 4 honestly does feel like a pretty good pick for an early system title. They have been porting all of them. They made a new sequel on Switch. Yeah, a Luigi's Mansion 4 in the first couple of years feels sensible. Okay, I'm gonna put some wild money out there. Nintendogs. An HD Nintendogs of some kind in the first 2 years of the system's life. I have no reason to believe that. But I think... I'm not going to say, like, launch year. I think, like, it launches mainly for, like, the hardcore invested people, and a couple of years in when they want to start bringing the, like, the more casual audience, the kind of people that, like, bought millions of Switches to play Animal Crossing. Nintendogs, followed by Animal Crossing a year later. Like, end of year 2, end of year 3, Nintendogs Animal Crossing. That's how you get it trending back on Switch 1 numbers. You do core gamer titles first 2 years into Nintendogs and Animal Crossing. There's me running Nintendo for you. Nintendogs. You reckon there's a market for Nintendogs, but you've got little adorable pigs as your pets? You're entering your pig in pig shows. I mean, I say that, now I describe it, I would play Nintendogs. People love pigs, they don't like the practicality of them, but they love the idea of owning a pig. A 2D Wario platformer. You say you think the ship has sailed. Honestly, I think it's the most likely now that it's been for many years. I think the success of stuff like Pizza Tower... If Nintendo was ever gonna go, wait, maybe there is a market and we should go back to making 2D Wario platformers, I think this is the most clear signal of audience demand they've had in a very long time. I figure we're a way off mainline Zelda, but I'm thinking 2026 is Pokemon Gen 10 to get the Switch 2 back into relevancy after the first year. Agreed. I think Legends ZA, I think, is a year 1 title. It's a cross-gen. We see it on Switch with a performance boost on Switch Pro, Switch 2, whatever it's called. End of 2026, I agree. I think we see Gen 10 exclusive... do we see it exclusive? The Pokemon Company has always historically been, like... They're slow to leave the previous generation behind, and if they can do a cross-gen release, I think they probably would. I'd hazard to say, Gen 10 might be one of those, like, second year of a new system's release, but it still releases on the old system, like Sun and Moon was. But, upgrade pack, no. Legend ZA being the cross-gen, Gen 10 being next-gen. Maybe. I think it... I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know whether I think Gen 10 is successor exclusive or if it's a second year of cross-gen with upgrade. The last... Yeah. I agree that 2026 is going to be Gen 10's year. It's... Usually, new generation comes 4 years after the previous. It's the 30th anniversary. I completely agree with you that I am confident 2026 will be Gen 10. I just don't know whether it'll be next-gen exclusive or if Pokemon Company will drag their heels and make it last-gen plus new-gen. Jeffrey Bunting says, ZA feels like a cross-gen. This looks horrible on Switch, but get a Switch 2 and you can see Pokemon more than 4 feet away. The big open world one does feel like the one that's like, hey, it plays last... You know why I think it's cross-gen as well? The fact that they didn't show any footage of it. Because, like, it's presumably going to be running in the same engine as Legends Arceus did. The lack of any footage, like, anything in engine, to me says... We don't want to show you it because we want to wait until we can show you Switch 2 footage before we show you it, because that's the one we want you thinking of as the game. Pokemon Company have like 150 employees. It'd be cool to make them do cross-gen for Gen 10, not that would stop Nintendo. That's the thing. It wouldn't be the first time that they've done it. You want that in a Switch 2 Direct, surely. I would think you'd want it in a Switch 2 Direct, but also the Pokemon Company really likes their announcements to be on their own footing. Like, part of me wonders, do we see Legends ZA in February next year. We see it at Pokemon Day during the Pokemon Presents, rather than it being part of Nintendo's marketing plan, like presentation. Yeah, Switch 2 announcement plus Legend ZA footage on the Switch 2. I agree. I think open world Pokemon game that looks really nice is the best. Like, that is the ideal selling point for getting people to pick up like your next gen system, is look at how good open world Pokemon looks on next gen. The Pokemon Company, I don't know if they let that happen.
This is mentioned anywhere in the memories. If I had been prepared, Ren might still be alive.
I think if I had full control of it, what I would do is I would show the first footage I would show of ZA would be during the Switch 2. It would be the Breath of the Wild in the 3-minute trailer for the Switch, the original Switch, but it'd be for Switch 2. Here's me playing it on the TV, on the handheld, whatever the gimmick is. But, like, this new Pokemon is the thing we're seeing. And then during Pokemon Day, you go, we promise you it is still coming to the original Switch. You show some footage of it there. You go, hey, you're still going to be able to play it. It still looks as good as the original Pokemon Legends Arceus did. It's not, like, a downgrade from the last Legends Arceus game, but it is an upgrade if you can go to next gen. Like, that would be my marketing plan, but the Pokemon Company's weird. Pokemon Company is protective over getting to be the ones to make their Pokemon announcements. Has a Nintendo handheld or home console ever launched with a Pokemon on launch day? Has that ever happened? I don't think so. It would be a big fucking deal if that happened. Yeah. I'm just spitballing. If Legend ZA was on Switch 2 on day one, it was a cross-gen launch title. Pick up next gen, you can play next gen Pokemon on the very first day. I do think that would shift some fucking units. Yeah, Mario or Zelda is typical. Zelda is unlikely given Tears of the Kingdom. Given that we had Tears of the Kingdom and we're about to have Echoes of Wisdom, like, not even a spin-off Zelda, like a smaller spin-off Zelda at launch feels reasonable. And, like, Mario, we've not had a mainline Mario game since Odyssey, and the only one we've had since then is a remake with the little Bowser's Fury side mode, which was, at this point, like, 3-4 years ago, even for that. Like, new big Mario game is such an obvious candidate for launch day title. Yeah, I'm curious. Do people agree with me on... I would feel confident that Bowser's Fury is a blueprint for the sort of Mario experience we will see in the next big Mario game. Something that is sort of a big open environment that levels are within, that you are... this pseudo-open world with linear levels dotted throughout it kind of format. Or do you think that is a one and done for Bowser's Fury, that is not a direction we see them continue for a full game? Because, like, to me, and maybe I'm foolish here, it felt like a let's do something small to test whether this formula works. Here's a safe test bed for something we wanna do more with. Not just Breath of the Wild felt like a proof of concept, Bowser's Fury felt like what a somewhat open world Mario could look like. Yeah. Part of me goes, does this work? And if so, can we expand it and fill it up and do something big with it? I think it would need some changes. It probably couldn't exist in exactly the same form, but I would like to see what Bowser's Fury but full Mario game looks like. It was very good. I very much enjoyed that. I thought it was fantastic. I like that the ways that levels sort of reshaped and reformed themselves while you weren't looking at them. Like, you'd be looking somewhere else in the open world, look back, and that level you did earlier now is a slightly different shape and has some different mechanics to it. Even if that wasn't the whole game, but, like, you'll occasionally go to an area like that, and there were a few of them maybe, could be interesting. Oh, I need to talk about something fucking fascinating I learned the other day about... Do you remember when there were all the NX leaks and things going on back in the day? Let me find this. I learned this, and this is genuinely fascinating. NX. Do you remember the old leaked, the old fake image of a leaked Nintendo NX that was like an oval with analog sticks in the face of it? The analog sticks were inside the screen. It was sort of based on a patent, a real Nintendo patent that had surfaced a little while previously, and people were like, "Ah, shit, it's real. It's the Switch." I'm trying to find an image of it that's a fucking JPEG that I can show on screen. That's not a WebP. Give me a sec. Yeah, this thing. This is not the image. But this is the one that I could put on screen easily. It was a black version of this, and it said, like, internal use, not for sharing. But you remember this thing, right? This isn't real, but Nintendo did legitimately develop one of these when trying to work on the Switch, and there are real images of the fake, what could have been the Switch that was oval-shaped, that have come out of the Nintendo Giga Leak. People are still digging up interesting stuff from that. There is a really interesting little YouTube documentary I watched the other day called The Cancelled 3DS Successor That Never Was, I think it's called. And it was digging into... before the Switch was created, there was a whole, like, 6-year development history that we have, like, official Nintendo documents of them trying to come up with a 3DS successor before it eventually became the Switch. And, like, the short version, they initially took a 3DS form factor with its 2 screens, took the CPU from the Wii U and shoved it in there, and set it up to do wireless broadcasting to the TV, so you could play it on the TV over Miracast, which is the protocol that you can use to, like, put your phone screen on the TV. But during that process, they did legitimately prototype a oval-shaped console with the analog sticks inside the oval screen. Let me see if I can find it to show you the actual image as an actual prototype. The reason that patent exists is because in, like, 2015, there was a point where that was going to be the Switch successor. The 3DS successor was little oval handheld that, like, Wi-Fi broadcasts to your TV. Before Nvidia offered them the hardware from the Nvidia Shield, the Tegra X1, and Nintendo, like, completely scrapped their plans. And in the course of, like, 2 years, the actual Switch was born. Can I find this image? Can I remember? 3DS successor cancelled. YouTube. Can I find the video and the screen? Because yes, it was a really... It's the cancelled 3DS successor by Rare Gaming Dump on YouTube. Give me a second to find the image. I am fascinated by its existence and that we get to see this. Gonna be a little way into here before I can find it and put it up on screen. It was internally called the Indy. I-N-D-Y. So I'm trying to skim around and find where the image was. I might not be able to find it in a skim. What I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck the YouTube video. It's like a 15-minute video. I'm going to chuck it in chat. It's well worth watching if you want some insight into how that fake NX image is actually very close to a thing that really almost happened. There we go. I wonder if the Switch 2 will have the same cartridges and be physically backwards compatible. Have we heard anything about that yet? Officially, no. Unofficially, it seems like it seems like it's going to be like the 3DS situation, where it'll be a Switch cartridge with a little sideways nub, so a Switch 2 cartridge physically won't fit in the launch Switch, but a Switch cartridge will fit in the Switch 2. That seems to be the case. It seems like it will be physically backwards compatible, which I'm super curious what that means in a world where the MIG Switch flash cart exists, and what that means for Nintendo's continued attempts to prevent the Switch 2 from being as much of a piracy-prone machine as the base Switch is. But everything I'm hearing from people is that it is backwards compatible with Switch 1 cartridges, as well as digital software, which, yeah, I will be impressed if Nintendo has found a way to stop the Switch 2 having the same piracy problems as the base Switch, despite supporting original Switch cartridges. Yeah, that's the thing. Honestly, if your original Switch games will play on the Switch 2, if nothing else, it means you could probably hack your launch Switch and just have it as a hack machine and be fine. Anyway, back to murdering all these people and trying to get their special keys from them. I mean, I have a spare Pokemon Go Gimmighoul I can trade to you in Pokemon if you want. If you DM me, I've got a Go Gimmighoul I can just send to you. Oh, I haven't, like, I use Go when if I have to for something that I cannot get in Pokemon any other way, I will begrudgingly play Go and then return to it, return to not playing it. I got the Gimmighoul, and I got my shiny Mew. I got my legitimate shiny Mew because there had been no other way for me to legitimately gain one for my shiny collection. And those are the only two things I've used Pokemon Go for in several years. Occasionally there will be a Pokemon I cannot get any other way, and then I put it back down because their monetization, particularly their monetization around how shiny Pokemon worked, and their monetization of reducing the methods for being able to play from home that they introduced during year 1 of COVID and then took away because, you should all be going back outside now. Those two things really pissed me off and made me just give up on Pokemon Go. Oh, Solus is down. I was paying too much attention to chat and not enough to my downed party members. Yeah, if I just let Solus die here, if I just don't revive him, Veilguard never happens. Why don't I just let him die? Yeah, none of you wanted to play Veilguard, right? You're all cool if I just let Solus die here and we don't play Veilguard. Up you get on, bull. And up, 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 bull. Is this just an eternal wave? Like, am I supposed to destroy part of this wall before it'll spawn another key? I need 5 of those glowing keys that seem to randomly drop off of enemies. I've only seen 1 of them spawn. Okay, Varric, let's put you on revival duty. I need to actually pay attention to this fight, apparently. Alright, you're gonna be on looting everything to try and find those keys. Ooh, that's a second key. Okay. Okay, I literally do just need a character on key hunting duty, I guess. Okay. Turn invisible. Let's go revive myself. The first couple of these, where I found the key was like glowing. So I assumed I was just looking for glowing ones, but... Up you get, Varric. You're the party's revival expert. We need you picking pockets and finding these blasted keys. Okay, another key. Did I get that key? I think I did, yeah. Okay. I really do just need to loot every single one of these, huh? Oh, who's down now? Is that Solus down? Yeah, this really is just an eternal wave situation. Okay. I can at least see the lootables. There's got to be a better way. Any more corpses I have not looted? Didn't loot that one. Look, as much as I love Inquisition, it really does have moments like this where I'm like, it's not a deal breaker, but you really, I feel like this was a poorly thought through moment of one mission. It has its rough edges and it has its places where it feels like it's doing slightly fillery bits. Just eternally fight until you get 5 random keys. Like, if this had been 3... Previously, any of these gates has only needed 1 of these keys. If it had been 3 keys even, 3 would have been like, okay, it's a step up, it's a more substantial thing, they've got to do a bunch of fighting. There's some randomization. Like, you don't need to go from 1 straight to 5. And these moments are like, they're few and far between, but when they happen, they're like, notable. Again, this is never a problem I had with Mass Effect. Mass Effect never, at least in 1, 2, and 3, never really felt like this. And it is one of the things that I hope that BioWare, having said that they're doing a quote-unquote more streamlined experience with Bellegarde, I hope means a few of these kind of edges just smoothed off of the experience. Right. Time to follow Volta into the unknown. Which I believe is a song from Frozen 2. I have one line singing in my head the words "Into the Unknown." I've never seen that film. I don't think I've heard that song start to finish. But I'm confident enough to say it's a song.
We must be getting close to whatever they're protecting.
Here we go.
Only the pure may pass. All others will be punished. Assuming the Shapratal are the pure,
We're the others who aren't allowed to pass.
could the earthquakes be the punishment?
A mining
We
lyrium?
found Paragon Garal's book near a damaged lyrium mine. And the new earthquakes destroyed your mine.
But why would they want to destroy the lyrium mines?
I wonder what makes the warriors pure.
You spent long enough this far down, reason might not be your strong suit.
They do wear sealed armor to protect themselves from impurities?
Titans, the Shabratal. This could be more than anything we expected.
For all the Shaperit's knowledge, I know so little. This reads like a final warning. We must be nearing the source.
Okay. Okay, we're nearly down there. Still, okay, yeah, we've still got one more floor down to go, but I'm guessing this is going to be our final descent is here.
Did the Shabratal build all this?
Or was it here before them?
I cannot deny, Dragon Age, particularly Inquisition, does occasionally just throw a really cool environment design like this out. Like, this is a really cool thing to see 9 levels deep underground. Like, for any moments where I grumble about Inquisition, I'll have a moment like this and just stop and go, you built an interesting world, BioWare, and I can't deny you had interesting world-building ideas. It's just the suddenly much more bright, presumably these are very long spires, but I love the clouds. I don't know what it is about this being a large enough cavern for clouds to have formed, and we're seeing the spires just peek up through the clouds. It's just a nice execution. It is a nice execution of the thing. Yeah, so this is the second DLC mission for Inquisition. This is one of the lengthier missions, and like it's. I would say its pacing's a little iffy in as much as they wanted you to feel like you'd gotten your money's worth time-wise out of buying a DLC.
The rhythm we followed.
It is less tightly paced than a main game mission would have been as a result, I think. I despised Elden Ring, but the Stars Underground thing was real neat. I don't think anyone can deny that elevated, like, going down, 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 suddenly there's fucking stars underground. Very well orchestrated execution.
Ever since we came down here, the deep roads have felt different. Organic. We've been looking for the Titan the wrong way. It isn't like us.
It's huge. Big enough to change the world around it.
We can't see the Titan because we're inside it.
It's a big crystal heart. Look, it's cheesy, it's tacky, but I'm a real sucker for, oh shit, it's a crystal heart.
If I don't survive, Orzammar must.
I'm a real sucker. Like, I can't deny sometimes a tacky bit of fantasy will hit me and I'll go,
I won't fall while Corypheus is still a threat.
I like it though. The Titan is a crystal gem. It will always save the day, and if you think it can't, it'll always find a way. That's why the people of the Underdark believe in this big Titan thing. Yes, yes, we're talking with Steven Universing, DT.
Civilization in here?
A city within a Titan? Incredible.
And the quakes haven't damaged it.
Don't make us fight you!
Hello, people living inside a stone god. Your god's causing trouble for us upstairs, so we do have to walk into your home down here and kill you all to, like, stop your boss waking up because he's making earthquakes. The BT says, a city within a Titan, any Xenoblade character going, where else do people live? Yeah. Look, Xenoblade was not the first fantasy story to be like, what if we all lived on the body of a big dead thing? But I do like how much Xenoblade commits to the bit. Xenoblade really feels like it's, hello, we're going on a 3-day journey to get from the foot to the knee. Really make that thing you live on feel way too big. It's gonna be another week of walking before we can get to the hip. Does Solus need help? He seems fine. Yes. I did like Xenoblade 1's specific twist of not only do you live on a giant thing's corpse, it's two giants literally in the middle of a sword fight, like died mid-battle. You can walk from one corpse to the other by walking along the swords. I'm like, oh. Oh, beautiful. Where's this path I'm missing? Ah, climb down, I see.
I don't want to hurt you!
I can summarize the Xenoblade series real easily. There are a bunch of JRPGs in which, in each of them, a young man finds a sword that does something magical, like, it can slow time, or it's got a spirit of a girl in it. And they're all living on the back of old gods that were in a fight, and usually it's about fantasy magic versus machines. There you go, there's the Xenoblade series. That's Xenoblade summed up. Human magic versus machines in a world where special swords can do special things. Do you think we get GameCube or even Wii Nintendo Switch Online or Switch 2? I think GameCube is very reasonable. Here's the thing, I think the reason I think, if nothing else, there probably are other reasons, but one big reason why GameCube's never come to NSO is A, they still want to be... this is probably the bigger reason why we might not get it on Switch 2, is GameCube games are new enough that they can give them a shiny coat of HD paint without too much effort and sell them to you again, rather than letting you have them on NSO. But the other reason, mechanically, is that the Switch has digital triggers rather than analog, and there's a bunch of the GameCube games that you remember fondly require use of analog triggers to function, and just will not play properly without analog triggers. Your Luigi's Mansion, your Mario Sunshine, etc. If the Switch 2 gets announced and its Joy-Con replacement has analog triggers rather than digital, to me that's a sign that probably GameCube NSO will come at some point. Yes, a lot of licensing issues as well, because a lot of the things you remember as GameCube games are third-party licensed titles. Although, they've been pretty good about getting, like, the licenses sorted for some of the N64 stuff. Even if it took them many years to battle those battles. Yeah, how will they sell us Wind Waker HD for £50 if we have GameCube emulation? Well, I mean, they sold the Link's Awakening remake despite Link's Awakening for the Game Boy being on NSO. But I think the GameCube experience is closer to the modern remake experience that I think people are more willing to put up with the old version rather than buy the new remake. Yeah. Part of me thinks they release, at the very least, Twilight Princess and Wind Waker as paid HD remasters, and then wait a couple of years before GameCube NSO. Like, they want to make sure they've definitely gotten your buying remasters money before they give you an option to give them a subscription for them. Yeah, I'm amazed that they still haven't put the Pokemon games onto NSO. Because, yeah, I have to imagine they just can't technically work out how to make them work properly with Pokemon Home. Because the only reason people are asking for Pokemon and NSO is so that they'll have a way to without having to use a 3DS and bank, to put Pokemon into Pokemon Home from the old games. Play the old games in a place where they can get them to home easily. Like, it's a money-printing factory. I don't see why you wouldn't put at least up to the GBA games on NSO, like, today.
These are the only memories in this area.
Unless they're going to make that Switch 2 exclusive for no other reason than to get you to upgrade, which
and there's a
would be Nintendo.
To Titan's blood? It says the Shabertal come here to drink it.
Every Bunting says it's baffling you wouldn't launch your Game Boy NSO with Pokemon unless you can't. At the time, I thought it was like they wanted to wait for like a lull in game releases. Like, my thought had originally been they don't want to step on the toes of Scarlet and Violet releasing. Give it a year, maybe 18 months after Scarlet and Violet release, you release the old games on home to bridge the gap before your next release because you're saving stuff for next gen. Like, use it, holding it because you want to use it to bridge the gap between Gen 9 and 10 because it's maybe going to be a big gap because of a cross-generational divide. I could see that. But to have not done it at this point still, I struggle to find a compelling reason why you wouldn't have put them there unless you couldn't. Nintendo Switch Online, yes. Apologies for not clarifying the acronym. With your online multiplayer payment, you can also play some games as well.
The Titan's blood must keep the Shabertal alive.
If you did that, people wouldn't care about the Scarlet and Violet DLC. But again, that's my thing. Is like, is this the thing? Is they're trying to find a moment where it won't feel like it's stepping on the toes of something else they're releasing?
The Titan's blood is lyrium.
Like, if they released it today, if they released all of the like Game Boy through Game Boy Advance Pokemon games on NSO today, it's far enough out from the Scarlet and Violet DLC that it's not stepping on anyone's toes. It's something for people to be doing now ahead of Gen 10. Like, now feels like it would be a great time to do it, but I think if you're into Pokemon, you're not going to avoid Scarlet and Violet to play Pokemon Red. No, but if you're someone who's like, I'm annoyed at the frame rate on Scarlet and Violet, and I want to get those Pokemon into my Pokemon home, so I guess I'll play the DLC because it's right now it's the only way to get those Pokemon. Oh wait, no, I could just play the NSO ones, get the Pokemon into home that way, not bother with the DLC for the game that runs in a way that I think is unacceptable. Like, there is a sizable portion of people who were like, that performance, I just wasn't gonna play it. And maybe that's a portion that, like, you're trying to win over with DLC that you don't if NSO is there. I don't think that's a reasonable reason. I don't know. It's tricky. The Pokemon Company's reasoning is hard to ever get a handle on.
That's quite a leap of logic, Volta.
Everything that's happened is related to lyrium.
The DLC did, in fact,
mine,
perform
the
worse. You are
Stone
correct.
Stone. It all leads here.
We have to stop this!
Alright, sorry, 1 second. I'm keeping my eye on some quirky bits. There we go. I've heard enough stories about the Pokemon Home backend being really janky that I wouldn't be surprised if it was a cart situation. But also, if Gen 1 is on Home, how do we sell you Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee to so you can rebuild that bit of the decks? How do we sell you Let's Go Johto next year, you know? Maybe that's it, but I don't know. I'm not convinced. Yeah, I never had as bad a technical time with Scarlet and Violet as everyone else seemed to. But I will admit, cycling down a grass-covered hill in the rain was pretty rough. Yes. There are so many things about... I wish it was slightly easier to maneuver things in my home collection, but... it is what it is. Oh god, yes, the slideshow sunflowers. Okay, here we go. So few healing resources. Okay, Varric. Oh, where the fuck are you, Varric? What are you up to? Get back in here. Okay, Bull, I guess you are on revival duty. Everyone is down. Braver, I'm doing well. How are you doing? Good to see you back. Okay, revival squad. Okay, I should probably be taking the flails out before I'm trying to attack the lyrium deposits. I think that is the mistake I was making. Bull, up you get. Okay, I might need to retry this fight with a slightly different strategy. It's fine, it's fine. We'll take the loss. We'll revisit, we'll retry. Okay. Ah, my journey ends. Yes, this is not a boss designed for melee, but we're doing it with melee regardless, so... it'll be fine. I will pay attention. I'll wake up and not just autopilot this. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, so we are trying to take out as many of these as we can with... okay, that's one set down. Varric, you're on revival. Let's get Solus up. No, party members, focus on the flaily bits. Oh, Bull. Am I going to need to tactical mode this to be telling my party members what to be fighting so they don't just focus on the gem? Okay. Fuck it. We die? And I'm doing this in tactical mode so I can actually tell my party members what to focus on. We're gonna take the first set of flails out in real-time action, and then we tactics the rest. I'm only going in real time because I want to... my opening salvo is to go with this. really hoping to take those out while still on the spin attack, but we'll make it work. Not the crystal, not the crystal. We're attacking the legs. Everyone, on the legs, on the legs. Right, so. You attack the rock flail. Attack the rock flail, attack the rock flail. Right, so we're all in agreement. We're attacking the rock flail over here, correct? Who's down? Is it full? Full. I told you we were attacking the flail. Okay, the strategy is sound. I just need to... Yeah, getting attacked while trying to do the revivals. Maybe don't even worry about the revival. Just keep the tank alive, get the tank to take the whips out. Only do the revival if there's not whips nearby. Bravar says, I think I remember the whole history behind this DLC in the later fights. People complained that in Dragon Age Inquisition you could usually just pummel your way through. So they tried to up their boss fight game. Problem is the combat system isn't really responsive enough for it. Yeah, I don't think it's a problem that you can usually just go up to bosses and pummel your way through them. That is the flow of the game, and I enjoy running up to stuff and pummeling it. Okay. Take these out before they wake back up. Cool. Everyone, attack these tentacles. We go straight in. We don't give it any time to revive. Cool. Sort yourself out, camera. Okay, tentacles 2 down. Yes, I am tanky enough that I can just... Yeah, stop whipping me while I'm trying to revive. I need Varric on revival duty, because he can go invisible. Yes, not being able to revive my party members because I'm getting whipped out of doing it, yeah. Yeah. This feels like one I'm gonna have to just do like, properly micromanage the overhead view. And that's not how I like playing this. I like playing it as an action game, but occasionally I do just have to tactics mode it. Okay, let's stick with what we were doing. Okay, so we run in, do this attack. Okay. Ironbull, where are you? You are here with me. You need to... Go with that, maybe. Okay, Bull's... Barrett's down. Okay, now Varric. Varric down again already. I remember why I don't love this DLC. I remember why I don't love this DLC. Okay. I'm gonna stop and just take a breather. Because beating my head against the problem and doing the same thing over and over isn't gonna get me anywhere. So I'm gonna take a second. Just get out of the routine, get out of the rhythm. Come back to this fresh. Check if anything important that I need to pay attention has happened to, and just have a breather. Here's the thing, Fravor, I'm not opposed to a dungeon crawling style, MMO style DLC package. I wish it was a post game. I wish it could be done after the final story mission. Because the problem is right now, if you want to do this, you have to do it before you finish the story, before you go do Trespasser. Like, it's one of the things that, like, you can kind of get a little... I think, maybe I'm wrong. Can you do this after you go fight Corypheus and his big dragon? Or do you have to do it now? Because I feel like, at the very least, the game feels like it's encouraging me to do it now, and this feels like the wrong time for it to be here as a little bit of a roadblock. Maybe. I know there's some stuff that gets locked out. I know some of the companion quests you can't do after you do the final base game mission. Maybe I'm wrong. I know there's some stuff that gets locked out after you finish the base mission. Like, you can't finish some of the companion quests. I thought the DLC was the same, but maybe I'm wrong. I kind of want a strategy that I can use to kind of just cheese this a little bit. Get really underneath it. Yeah. This is the reason why I finished off DLC 1 off stream and just started today's stream with, here is a video supercut of me, like, here's the cutscenes from when I did it and, like, the footage of the successful runs. There's a couple of bits in these DLCs where I'm like, they're not great for doing on stream. I might just, like, I don't know how long I'll be streaming for this morning. I might pause streaming, come back a little later and do some more of the stream. But what I might do is just go off stream, put a podcast on, fight this for a while, and when I beat it, come back and be like, I did it, here's footage, anyway, we continue the stream. Unless people are up for just hanging out with me while I bash my head against a fight for a bit, which, you know, could be fun. We'll see. We'll see how much patience I have for beating my head against the problem. Without having had my ADHD meds today and not feeling the urge to go, I need to put other sensory input on if I'm going to brute force a fight. Because the dopamine seeking is real. Okay, okay, that's 2 down. Can I get far enough under here where you can't really hit me? Okay, given that 2 of the sets of flails are down, surely one of these characters is going to be far enough away I can revive them safely. Nope, no. Really, those flails can reach all the way to there. That's... I would have thought, being this close to the next set of flails, like... My plan was get all 3 sets of flailing things down, ideally, so that I can then do revivals. But I thought as long as I got 2 down, I could get into a safe spot to not get hit while I do revivals, but no. Do the flails count as ranged projectiles? Can I maybe protect myself using this spell? Get the 3rd set of tentacles down, please. Oh, really? Solus, you were the one left up. Okay, okay. And breathe. Solus, you're a fucking mage. Why are you... Come back here. You should be hitting from a distance, Solus. Why are you getting in so close? Why would you ever get in so close? Yeah, there's just no way to do party member revivals. That really is the thing that is making this ridiculous. These tentacles seem like they are programmed to specifically go, oh, you're trying to revive someone? Fuck you. Okay, let's check. Have we... points to spend on people. Fuck it. Akon's wisdom. Solus, stay at a fucking distance, please. Please stay at a distance. You know what? Maybe this is the strategy. Maybe... We open with the current plan. We come in, we fire this off. Maybe we don't fire this off straight away. Maybe we save this for when we need to do a revival of a character. Because this does hold the things in place for just long enough we could get someone back up on their feet. Maybe that's a better use of it. Okay, is there a supply cache available anywhere in this boss arena? Let's take a second to take it in. Is there anything I can do, like, pull back, fire this rift and let the rift do the damage? Okay, if I get too far back, you do just start punching the ground. Okay, Varric, you're up. Invisible. No, and you still die. Okay, I managed to revive everyone. I might actually have a shot. I lucked into everyone dying in a position where apparently I was allowed to revive them. At least once. Can I do it again? Who the hell knows? I need my invisibility back. Right underneath the tentacles. There's no way they're not gonna let me get away with that now. It was the closest I've gotten. I actually managed to get some revivals in. Okay. Yeah, we save the big rift attack. We don't use it as the opening salvo. We come straight in. Get our shields up. Okay, where are my bodies needing reviving? Okay. Ah. Okay, if I hadn't died literally that second, this was the game plan I really wanted to be going for, is get down Tentacles 1 and 2, then stun Tentacles 3 with the Rift attack, get my revivals done, all in on Tentacles 3, try and get the kill real quick. I think it's the right way to go. I think it's the right way. If there's going to be a success here, that's how we're going to get to it. Okay, that was a very clean... Health-wise, that was a very clean first set of tentacles. That's good. Health is still looking remarkably good on Tentacle Set 2. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna pause. Remind myself to breathe and stay calm and to not let myself get too energized. Stay calm. That was about as clean as the first two sets of tentacles could have been. If we're going to have a good run, this is what it's going to look like. This is the start we want to a good run. Let's capitalize on it calmly, sensibly. Okay, now we freeze the tentacles. Try and get a kill while they're frozen. If I can. Should I have used that time for revival rather than trying to get the kill? I don't know. I'm now thinking I should have stuck with the plan, used it for reviving, not for attacking. But if I can get the kill, then that will be my best opportunity to revive. I was going to say, well, there's no tentacles. Fuck. Okay. Well, there's none anywhere near you. About as smooth a start as I could have had. If we can get everyone back up. Before that last set of tentacles comes back. Okay. Tentacles are weaker this time when they come back, which is good. This means taking them back down is going to be much, much more doable. Yeah, just take the second set of tentacles down rather than... okay. Okay, can I get Varric up at least? Varric, do you have your invisibility to get up Iron Bull? Look, Jeffrey, you're not wrong to rethink it. This is a particularly bullshit boss that, as someone said earlier in chat, was because people complained about the difficulty in the base game. I'm not gonna lie, this boss is a bit bullshit. If this were my introduction to Inquisition, I wouldn't be encouraged to pick it up. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. There's a great game in here with caveats. I am surprised. I'll say this, as someone that does really like this game, I am surprised it got as many Game of the Year awards as it did, because it has a lot of reasons not to like it. It looks frustrating. This fight is frustrating. This DLC is a little frustrating. You're not wrong. I am enduring some frustration because of everything around it, but you're not wrong. But sometimes I enjoy beating my head against a mildly frustrating puzzle. There's the part of my brain that it's the same part of me that when I had to fight Sans in Undertale, it took me like 800 plus attempts, but I did it. Sometimes I will just say, nah, fuck you, game. I'm not gonna lose, and I will brute force my way to victory so I can go, ha! Video game it thinks it's better than me, does it? I mean, that is the thing. I shiny hunt, yes. I'm certainly not opposed to beating my head against the same thing over and over, hoping something will change. Yeah, I think I'm going to give it like another 10 minutes or so on stream, and failing that, what I might do is just take a break from the stream, do this fight off stream, come back with a little later today for another daytime stream with, here was the winning attempt, and the end of the DLC plot, and then we progress from there. Oh, just let... Yeah, we give it like 10 minutes. I go take a break for a bit, play this off stream with some podcast on or something. I'll come back, show you all how good at video games I was, and the plot can continue. Because, I mean, this DLC is the main thing I want to get done during the daytime streams today. Because, like, tonight we're going to go 10 p.m. UK, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. I'll be back streaming tonight, and we'll do the final base game story mission. And then Monday will be the Trespasser DLC, which is the thing that goes, here's how Inquisition leads to Veilguard coming out next month. And then that'll leave me ready for Wednesday to start streaming the Plucky Squire. And to try and get that done before Echoes of Wisdom. This is mainly my roadblock to getting Inquisition done in time for the Plucky Squire. If I can do this today, we can probably do the Plucky Squire next week when it comes out. I believe. Astrobot is fantastic. I'm glad I had a quiet enough schedule to 100% Astrobot during the review period. charming game. Had a lovely time with it. It really was a wonderful, wonderful time. Could not recommend it more strongly. But yes, this is the point of the year where I have to... I've got to have enough of an opinion about a lot of things. I gotta... Many opinions have to happen in quick succession. Oh, who's down? Iron Bull... Okay, yeah, I can get you back up. Okay, we got a revival done. The first phase. Gonna... Hey, AJ! Yeah, I don't usually stream in the daytime, but I really want to get the Inquisition streams done in time for Plucky Squire releasing next week. So we're trying to finish DLC 2 on stream today so that I can do final base game mission tonight, Trespasser DLC on Monday, Wednesday we can start the Plucky Squire. And I just happened to not have a lot I needed to do today. I've got an accessibility episode that needs to go up this afternoon, and I'm doing a meeting with someone to help them work on a document, and I've got to finish off a consulting thing this evening, but I had some daytime time, and that's a rarity for me, so I took advantage of a rare open daytime. Okay, Varric's back up. Means Varric can try and revive Solus. Is there a supply crate anywhere in this map? No. I'm literally just going to keep Varric invisible and on standby for revivals. Or not. Come on. You're not dead yet, Varric. Please. Okay, you're just in the safe range, Varric. Okay. We back away. Okay, I become invisible. Varric, you are just my sneaky revival expert. That is all you are right now. No one noticed what I'm up to. Please don't whip me while I'm doing this. No. Ah. One or two more attempts. We'll go until the hour. And then I make this an off-stream activity. We record it, we come back. Give me an opportunity to Google, are there any good strats for cheese in this fight? Okay. Varric, come on. No. Varric, up. Varric, hold back until you become invisible. Now, even with the invisibility, it's not giving me enough room to get a clean revival. Like, I'm okay with spending resources, like using that stealth attack on Varric, but I just need some way to be able to cleanly get revivals done if I need to. And again, I think the strategy is just don't use that rift attack as an offense move. Purely use it as something to buy time for revivals. I know I said out loud, and then I started using it offensively on the third set of whips. Just save it for revival. I'm only going to get one shot at it. I just need to do it good. Okay, let's give at least one attempt at the strategy I said I was going to do and never properly put to practice. Really not clean first phase, but... Okay. I'm gonna have to use it purely to get my revivals in. No. What is hitting me? What is hitting me in that phase that's stopping me? Like, the tentacles are stunned, and something's still preventing me getting the revives. Something is still stunning me. Am I standing too close to the base? Am I getting hit by the big spikes that are erupting out the ground? Okay, last attempt for now. Oh, I'm on the lowest difficulty, AJ. I enjoy this game. I'm not here for having my ass handed to me in combat. I already forgot what the strategy change I was meant to be doing was. Oops, that's on me. Yeah, I'm playing this on casual, but I also suck at it, so, you know. No top-tier pro gamer strats here today. Literally only Solus alive. That doesn't bode well. Okay. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna farm this boss off stream. And I will come back probably later during the daytime today and go, here's how the DLC 2 ended. And we'll finish that up. But I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing here on stream, but I'm gonna go have some lunch, listen to a podcast while I beat my head against a wall, and we'll come back with some more Dragon Age a little later today. The plan is 10 p.m. UK tonight. We will be doing the final base game mission, ready for doing the Trespasser DLC on Monday next week. Thank you very much. I will probably see you all in the next couple of hours. I'll be back on stream. Have a good one. I'll see you all in a little bit.